All right, now we're going to demonstrate an introductory method to Escoffier's saute with bone in. We're going to do it without Frenching the legs or the breast. So start by removing your wishbone. Feel with your finger along each side of the breast. Use the tip of the knife. Run it all the way down either side. Find that wishbone. Next, use your finger. Go under the bone. Just pinch it out and down. The reason why we remove the wishbone first, so we get a better yield and a nicer presentation. Remove your wing joint. Face your chicken up and use your boning knife. You want to cut around in a circle right where that joint meets. Finding the separation, so right along. Kind of open it up if you need to find exactly where that joint is. And just kind of pull it down and cut through it. Same thing on the other side. Find your joint where it separates. C motion. With your hand, you can kind of pull away the joint to separate it. And into the ice. So now we're going to separate the legs. When doing this, angle your knife touching the thigh and make a shallow cut just to cut through the skin on each side. Now separate the joint by hyperextending it. To do that, gently put your finger here to support the meat itself and push forward. And you see the bone separates from the joint. Now we want to make sure we get all the oyster intact. So make your first cut to expose the oyster, and then you're going to use the point of your finger to separate it from the carcass. Like that. Down, and use your finger. Like that, and you have the oyster right there. Now, being careful not to cut yourself or the oyster, with your knife angled down towards the carcass, slide it down and towards the board. And there you have your leg. Put that on your ice and go to the next side. Same thing, fingers supporting it, push it forward, and you see the joint out of the socket. Move your oyster using your finger and sliding this part down just to expose it some. There's oyster 2. Once again, careful not to cut yourself. Angle your knife down so you get a nice yield and all the way down. You have your leg. So we're going to remove the backbone. This part right here is called the parson's neck, and it's an area of skin between the breast and the backbone. So we just need to make one incision about to the center of the backbone. Just go halfway through the carcass, like that. Make sure you're not cutting through your breast. Grab the part that's protruding out, pull it down slightly, and twist. There you have your little portion of backbone. Save that for your stock. And now we need to take out the center part. Using one motion, we want to carve out the center bone right along here. So using the entire length of your boning knife, grab it firmly, being careful to keep your fingers out of the path of the knife, all the way to the board. Same thing on the other side. Keep your fingers out of the way. One smooth stroke. Now we need to take out the keel bone, which is this bone that goes along the center of the breast. To do that, we're going to gently insert the tip of the knife into the point where the bones are separated. You don't want to go too far or you'll break the keel bone. Then, with your thumbs on each side of the breast, pull it outwards and down to expose the keel bone. Grab it with your thumbs and slide down the length of the breast. Grab it with your palm and pull down. Now we'll separate the two breasts. Right down the center, one long, smooth stroke. And now we want to trim the part of bone that's protruding out. Just take your knife. The reason why we're doing this is because, one, you're not going to eat that, and two, it makes it look nicer. Now we have our bone-in breast. We're going to cut it across. And to do this, you're going to need a knife with a little more weight to cut through the bone. And we want to get kind of a diamond cut out of it, so we have two portions that are the same size and kind of look the same. Just the bone, it gets kind of tricky. Hold the knife steady, and with your heel of your hand, pop the knife down. You have two diamonds. You can saute this like Escoffier's method. You can grill it, barbecue it. For our legs, split them right down the center where the line of fat goes. Here are the usable products we have from our chicken. The 2 wings, 4 breasts, 2 thighs, and the 2 legs.